what's good, y'all? Thanks for tuning into the channel Subconscious Truth. It's your girl Raina here, and this reading is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This reading may or may not resonate. It is general. Again, if you 18 and under, please do not watch this. This is for adults, so 18 over. I say that because of that copper law. Keep that in mind. But let's get this reading started for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So the energy you in right now is the Ten of Swords. So there needs to be some type of surrendering here. You can have some compulsive thoughts that's tormenting you mentally, and it's like you need to let that go. You know, all you could do right now is, if you're feeling defeated or betrayed, is start again. Because this energy is suppressing everything, and whatever that's being suppressed needs to be surrendered. And what's crossing you is this Knight of Wands, and this is being on the defense of something, but also having the strength, persevering through all this trauma and all this betrayal you went through. You need to find your strength, okay? Again, if this is mental, you know, I can understand why you could be a little paranoid. Your mind, if you're thinking too much, yeah, you're gonna be a little paranoid and shit. You could be closing yourself off, not trusting anyone, you know, maybe because of the situation you was in, or the situations you kept putting, you know, that you were being put in. I see something is saying, stop playing like, you can't be a victim no more. You know, this is somebody who's playing victim. They always want to barricade themselves in and not go outside themselves, you know, because of maybe maybe all this betrayal and all this backstabbing they've been through. You know, they may barricade themselves, but they're not really seeing that they have the strength, and they could persevere through all of this. So that could be the issue. You finding your strength, seeing that you persevere through this, and you still standing, you know. The conscious position is the strength card. See? You have to know that you have the inner strength to overcome this. You know, now this could be, you know, finding the inner strength, the courage to overcome your shadow, the trauma. You facing it. You facing their shadow. You facing things that, so you can have your strength back, so you can take your power back. You know, not letting the fears or these experiences control you, but you have control over it. So knowing that you can overcome these things, you know, this lady is petting this lion, and the lion is trusting. You know, maybe, you know, you need to have some trust. Again, you need to learn to trust too, because even with the Nine of Wands, they're a bit defensive, you know what I mean? You don't have to be so defensive if you trust in yourself. And, you know, it's okay to say no and not feel some type of way, you know what I mean? Or withdraw yourself from situations that you know is only hurting you. Have the strength to take your power back, basically. And the Page of Wands is in your subconscious mind. So this is dealing with your impulses too. You know, your impulses. This is a new start, a new adventure. But when I see this Strength card in this Page of Wands, you know, sometimes, you know, we may have act impulsively and put ourselves in situations that we were acting out on our animal. Because this is a very playful energy, a very childlike mind. So this energy will put you in situations where you don't have no expertise in, or you were just following your temptations, and you know, you just keep following your impulsiveness, your ego, your lust. And maybe that's what got you into this Ten of Ten of Swords energy, you know, and you at the end of a cycle anyway, so, you know, this cycle needs to end. And with the Nine of Wands, I feel like that's the issue. It needs to come to a completion, because you're not, you need to trust in yourself. You need to trust in yourself, and know how to conquer these impulsiveness in you. You know what I'm saying? Not being wary of the things outside of you, but more internal of you. Because I feel like whatever you going after, you attracting, like that Ten of Swords scenario, the ending, why it ends like that. And the Nine of Swords is like, you need to stop, you know, don't be on a defense. You need to kind of see where you played a part in this, and have control over your impulses. Also, to me, the eight of, I mean, the strength card is also maturing. You know what I mean? She's taming this lion because she's taming her lower energy. She's taming her impulses. There's acceptance of this too. Some of y'all may want to go on a new adventure, and maybe you need to have more control over your impulses. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what this Nine of Wands is. You could go back around one more time, but this time you needed to have the inner strength to tame those impulses, not act out impulsively, not be too enthusiastic, not be over the top. You know what I mean? Not looking from your desires, but, you know, whatever this is, you need to have more control over it. Because the limitation here is the Tower. The Tower is when things are not built on a solid foundation, they come tumbling down. So if you build something off an impulse and you were very egotistical about it and you were doing it from your lust, yeah, that's just going to break down because your ego needs to be checked. Okay, and that's what this is. The Ten of Swords, the Tower. Endings. You know, something has to come down. You have to surrender this energy. If you think this is how you love somebody, this is not how you love somebody, you know. This may attract us to that person, place, or thing. You know, these are our desires. This is not from the heart chakra, but the strength card. What happens is it sends those impulses to the heart chakra, so now you can tame those impulses. That's another video. This is what happens when you act impulsively out on something, and it never goes your way because you're looking at it through your lust. You're looking at it through that lower energy. But what happens is when you get that rude awakening, the ego comes down. The strength card is telling you, tame that energy, tame that. But it happens if your heart chakra is open, it's gonna do it for you. It's gonna hold that impulse there. It's gonna help you tame that shit if your heart chakra is open. You gotta have to find the strength to overcome your impulses. Okay, whatever your desires are, you need to find a way to have some type of self-control over them. See, with the King of Swords, it's King of Wands. All right, this is a man who has control over his impulses. He is the master of the fire energy. Okay, and this is reading for the Libra. So, you know, I don't know if you're dealing with a fire sign and you know, it sends you in this Ten of Wands, this Ten of Swords energy, but you need to surrender this shit. The Tower moment needs to come down. You need to surrender this shit because it's something about your impulses, and I feel like the King of Wands could help you with it. You know, they're gonna help you learn to master your impulses. Again, you acting from a child. You're inexperienced here. The King of Wands he masters this energy. So you may be going after things that are inexperienced to you, and you're going to have to learn how to become the King of Wands, or get in, you're going to come in contact with a King of Wands who's going to help you master your impulses. You understand? That's why you need the Strength card, because this needs to be some type of, you need to master that animal, that impulsive. You may even need to step down from something you keep going towards, because you too enthusiastic about it. You too in your lust. You too in this ego. And the King of Wands is going to set you straight. So like, that's the master of the energy. So maybe you want a job or something like that, and you may not have all the credentials you need, and the King of Wands does, and you need to learn that. Something about your ego needs to be reset. Something about power needs to be reset. Something about your impulses, your desires need to be reset with that Strength card, because you need to have some type of self-control. You need to have some type of strength to help you overcome or have self-control of your impulses or your lust or your desires. You get what I'm saying? So, this is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, people. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.